covering the life of Dominique Lomax, a mother, a daughter, a sister. The 27-year-old was identified this week as the woman who was found burned on the side of the road at Holmes and Sweeney.
Forensic experts will tell you that burn scenes present enormous challenges. Heat destroys DNA. Trace evidence vanishes into ash. Identity becomes nearly impossible to confirm without dental records or distinctive markers. Someone who sets a body on fire knows this. They're not just trying to kill, they're trying to erase. At 4:33 a.m. on September 6, 2023, the Memphis skyline was still sleeping. The air along Sweeney Road hung heavy with the smell of fuel and smoke. When the first patrol unit pulled up, officers thought they were responding to an illegal burn. Maybe trash, maybe tires. But as they stepped closer, flashlights cutting through the haze, the truth hit harder than the smoke. These weren't discarded things. These were human remains. Someone had set fire to a body on the side of the road. Someone wanted the evidence to disappear, to turn flesh and identity into ash. But fire can't erase everything. It couldn't erase the text message sent just 48 hours earlier. "I'm finna walk in." It couldn't erase the witnesses who saw a woman being assaulted and dragged into a vehicle in Whitehaven. It couldn't erase the phone found 2 miles away, thrown from a moving car. And it couldn't erase the boyfriend's story. A story that would unravel the moment investigators started asking questions. This is the case of Dominique Lomax, a 27-year-old Memphis mother whose burned remains were discovered in one of the city's most remote industrial areas.
Nobody else sent me out. Mike gonna send me out. She like, please, you gonna embarrass us. Please don't. She like, don't do that stupid ass shit. Why? I'm gonna do it. And I only got water. I'm scared.
Her boyfriend told police he simply dropped her off to meet another man, but her sister posted something very different on Facebook. She was last seen being assaulted and dragged into the car of her estranged and violently abusive boyfriend. 2 years later, no arrests have been made. And the question that haunts this investigation is simple. If he dropped her off peacefully, why do witnesses say they saw him assaulting her? We need to talk about this case today because what happened to Dominique isn't just about one woman's tragedy. It's about a pattern we keep seeing. Women telling their families they're in danger. Women being seen in violent situations. And then women ending up gone while the men who hurt them walk around free telling stories that don't match what people actually witnessed. Let me tell you about Dominique. Dominique Lomax was simply known as Dom, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. She was 27 years old when she was killed. One of 4 sisters. Their mother used to say that raising Dominique was like raising the sun, bright, impossible to ignore. She had that Memphis energy. You know what I'm talking about. That mix of warmth and grit. The kind of person who'd smile in your face but wouldn't let anyone play her twice. She was a mother. Her whole world revolved around her son. Everything she did, every long hour she worked, every plan she made, it was for that child. She wanted more than just survival. She wanted stability. She wanted a home her son could be proud of. Her brother Deontay would later say she was the type to check in daily, even when she was juggling work and motherhood. Her sisters called her their anchor, the one who kept the family connected. Online, Dominique was confident. Her social media was full of selfies, music lyrics, moments with her child. Her posts read like affirmations about knowing her worth, keeping her peace, not letting the wrong people back into her life. To anyone scrolling through her page, she looked radiant, grounded, even fearless. But like so many women, there was a struggle underneath, trust and safety, that delicate balance between believing in love and protecting yourself from it. Now here's where we need to pay attention to the timeline, because the details matter. Labor Day weekend, 2023. First weekend of September. On the surface, Dominique's life looked calm. She'd been working, spending time with family, planning to unwind. According to messages her friends shared later, she was supposed to meet someone from the neighborhood, a man her boyfriend called Rico. September 4th, 2023. Just before 5 in the morning. The sky over Memphis was still dark. Streets mostly empty at 4:45 a.m. According to police reports, Dominique's boyfriend dropped her off outside the Highland Meadows apartments on Airways Boulevard. He told police she was planning to meet a man she knew, someone he identified as Rico. Dominique stepped out of the car with her camouflage backpack, her phone in hand. She was wearing all white, had a red and pinkish bob hairstyle, a piercing on the right side of her face. 5'11", about 200 pounds. And then she sent a text message. "I'm finna walk in." The reply came back seconds later. "Walk in. Where?" Then nothing. The phone went silent. That brief exchange would become one of the last known traces of Dominique's life. Her family woke up that morning expecting her usual text or call. When none came, worry started creeping in. By afternoon, calls were going straight to voicemail. Her sisters began posting her photo on Facebook, tagging her name, asking if anyone had seen her. Friends commented instantly. She was just online. She wouldn't just vanish. That night, hope still outweighed fear. Her mother prayed out loud that maybe Dominique just needed space. Maybe her phone died. Maybe she'd walk through the door like nothing happened. But as the hours turned into days, that prayer grew heavier. Now this is where the story starts breaking apart. Because what the boyfriend told police and what Dominique's family discovered are two completely different things. Her sister posted this on Facebook, and I want you to hear this word for word. "Hey everyone, if you know me, then you know this is my sister Dominique. Her name is Dominique Lomax, and she was last seen being assaulted and dragged into the car of her estranged and violently abusive boyfriend yesterday in the Whitehaven area. I'm embarrassed putting my sister's business out to the world, but I don't want people to think this is a joke. If you feel the need to crack a joke, crack it to yourself. But for those of you who are my family, friends of my sister, or if you have a genuine heart, please share this for me. Please, my grandma raised us to love each other more because when they leave, we are all we have, and I live by that. So I love my sister more than anything, and neither of them has ever worried me this way. Please, if you know anything, DM. If I do not respond, then call me. God, I humbly ask that you shield my sister from harm and danger, both seen and unseen. Keep her safe from the snares of the enemy and the hidden perils that may lie ahead." Estranged, violently abusive. Those are the words her own sister used to describe this man. So if they were estranged, if he was violently abusive, why was he the one driving her around at 4:45 in the morning? Why was he the last person to see her alive? And why is his story about peacefully dropping her off to meet another man so different from what witnesses actually saw? Because according to the family's investigation, multiple witnesses reported seeing Dominique being assaulted by a man who dragged her into his vehicle. And the description of that man, it matched her boyfriend. Not only that, her phone was found thrown out on the side of the road, about 2 miles away from Highland Meadows, on Millbranch and Holmes Road. A man doing yard work found it. When Dominique's sister called the phone looking for her, this stranger answered. He told her he'd just found it while cleaning up outside. Now think about that. Someone threw that phone out of a moving vehicle. That's not somebody peacefully dropping their girlfriend off to meet a friend. That's someone in a panic. That's someone trying to get rid of evidence. And here's what makes it even more suspicious. After the sister got the phone back, it rang again. A man called asking to pick up the phone. She told him she already had it. That man never showed up, never called back, never tried to retrieve it again. Who was that? Was it the boyfriend realizing he'd left evidence behind? Was it someone else involved? We don't know because that person disappeared the moment they found out someone else had the phone. Dominique's brother Deontay was in Atlanta when he found out his sister was missing. He was scrolling on Instagram when he saw a missing person post from Memphis. He read the description, saw the last name, looked up and realized it was his sister staring back at him from the screen. He stopped everything he was doing and called his family. This is what he said.
So I just read what it was saying, and then I saw the last name, and I looked up, and it was my sister. So I was like, man, it's crazy, and I just stopped everything I'm doing.
By September 5th, the family filed an official missing person report. Police took the statement, noting her last known location and that text she'd sent. "I'm finna walk in." Walk in where? Then silence. Dominique's sister went to Highland Meadows to search for her. She was out there on foot, handing out flyers with her sister's picture on it. She would later post on Facebook about how just seeing a picture of Dominique brought tears to her eyes. She kept thinking about the son, Dominique would be leaving behind. The family was devastated. They didn't have any leads. They were scared. And they had this sinking feeling that something terrible had already happened. Then came the morning that would change everything. September 6, 2023, 4:33 a.m. Officers were dispatched to Swinner Road near East Holmes after a caller reported a fire on the roadside. This area sits near the airport, mostly industrial, dotted with warehouses and shipping yards. Remote, the kind of place you'd only know about if you were familiar with Memphis. Firefighters got there and extinguished the flames quickly, but what they found underneath wasn't debris.
Memphis police are investigating. Now, police say they are investigating the human remains found today as a homicide.
Memphis police are investigating a deadly fire tonight. This fire was reported about 4:30 this morning at Sweeney Road near Holmes. After crews extinguished the fire, police say they found human remains. So now, police are investigating this case as a homicide. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers 901-528-CATCH.
Officers immediately secured the scene. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't an illegal trash burn. This was a homicide. Someone had deliberately set a body on fire. The morning news broke fast. Human remains found burning on the side of the road. Photos of flashing blue lights started flooding social media before the family even got a call from police. Dominique's mother saw the reports on Facebook. Her chest collapsed. She would later say, "I knew. A mother just knows." The family waited, hoped, prayed it wasn't her. But deep down, they already knew. 2 days later, on September 13th, the Shelby County medical examiner confirmed what everyone feared. The remains belonged to 27-year-old Dominique Lomax. Detectives delivered the news at the family home. According to relatives, silence filled the room before grief took over. Her mother screamed. Her sisters cried. And her son, too young to understand, kept asking when mommy was coming home. Her brother Deontay talked about that moment.
I already knew. Like I said, after she had been gone for surplus of time.
He already knew, but that didn't make it any easier. The injustice, the fact that my nephew has to find out that his mom didn't die from a terminal illness, that she was brutally murdered, and somebody set her corpse on fire. Let that sink in. A child has to grow up knowing his mother was murdered and burned. That's the reality this family is living with. The community responded the way Memphis does, with candles, music, and prayers. Within 24 hours, a vigil was organized. One of her sisters spoke through tears.
We deserve to know what's going on. We deserve to know why. And we deserve to know that these people need to be in jail. She needs justice.
Online, her name started circulating everywhere. Justice for Dominique. Say her name, Memphis Strong. Friends shared clips of her smiling, dancing, laughing, anything to remind the world she wasn't just a victim on the news. She was a whole person. A mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. On September 14th, family and friends gathered at Overton Park for a balloon release. Dozens of people showed up holding green and white balloons. There were candles lined up in the middle spelling out Forever 27. People embraced, shared tears, hugs, and sadness. And then Dominique's mother, Lois Lomax, spoke. Her words were direct, angry, heartbroken.
He's done a monstrous crime. He has done a crime that he needs to be locked away and thrown away and, put away 24 and 7 actually. He has done something to just rock my world, and I'll never be able to get over my daughter lost until he's put away. You set my daughter on fire. You put her in the woods. Just treated her like she was nothing when she was well loved and still well loved.
She wasn't talking to the crowd. She was talking directly to whoever killed her child. Dominique's sisters stood up too.
It doesn't matter who you are and what you know. Any little piece of information helps my family. My family is hurting. We are broken. We are devastated. We are upset. And we just really want answers from my sister.
And then Lois made a promise.
This isn't over. This isn't over. It may have been 1 week, but believe me, in that 1 week, she's gonna get what she's deserved. She's gonna get justice. And I promise you that. I'm not gonna let this go until my baby has victory over this.
That was September 2023. It's now November 2025. 2 years and 2 months later, no arrests have been made. Let me say that again. No arrests. Now let's talk about the investigation, because this is where things get frustrating. Memphis police opened a homicide investigation immediately. They pulled footage from nearby gas stations and street cameras. They checked cell tower data. They analyzed Dominique's phone for location pings, deleted texts, social media messages. Everything became evidence. Detectives retraced her movements between Highland Meadows apartments and Swinner Road. They interviewed residents. They talked to witnesses. They took statements from the boyfriend. They allegedly spoke to this man named Rico. According to police reports, Rico told detectives he last saw Dominique getting into a blue car. A blue car, but he didn't say who was driving. He didn't provide details about the vehicle. He didn't explain why she was getting into another car if she'd just been dropped off to meet him. Does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't make sense to me. If you drop your girlfriend off to meet someone and that person says they saw her getting into another vehicle with someone else, wouldn't you want to know who? Wouldn't you be asking questions? Wouldn't you be the first person demanding police find out who took her? But according to the family, the boyfriend's story remained the same. He dropped her off. She texted him. Then nothing. Deontay Russell, Dominique's brother, said this.
I think that that's a very flawed story. I think that a lot of what's being stated in that police report doesn't add up.
He's right. It doesn't add up. You've got witnesses saying they saw a woman being assaulted and dragged into a vehicle. Description matches the boyfriend. You've got a phone thrown out of a moving car 2 miles away from where she was allegedly dropped off peacefully. You've got a sister publicly calling him estranged and violently abusive. You've got a family begging for answers, and yet no arrest. Here's what investigators know for sure. The person responsible was familiar with Swinner Road. That area near the airport is industrial, remote, not the kind of place you just stumble upon. Setting a fire in that specific location wasn't random. It was deliberate. It was calculated. Forensic experts explain that burn scenes make investigations incredibly difficult. DNA is destroyed by heat. Trace evidence disappears. Fingerprints are gone, fibers are ash. The fire took most of the physical evidence with it, but it didn't take everything. It didn't take the digital trail, the text messages, the phone location data, the witness statements, the 911 calls, the family's testimony about the violence, the 2021 incident where Dominique was reportedly taken by a boyfriend before. Oh, we need to talk about that, because this wasn't the first time Dominique went missing in connection with a man. In 2021, Memphis police issued a report that Dominique Lomax was reportedly taken from a vehicle by her boyfriend, 31-year-old Lim Hoon. He allegedly pulled up near South Pauline and Crump, took her from the vehicle, and left the scene. She was eventually found safe. Now I don't know if Lim Hoon is the same boyfriend from 2023 or if this was a different man. The transcripts don't make that clear. But what we do know is there was a history, a pattern. Dominique had been in situations before where men were allegedly violent toward her. And here's the hard truth we need to sit with. How many times does a woman have to say she's in danger before we believe her? How many times does she have to go missing before we take it seriously? How many witnesses have to see an assault before someone gets arrested? Because Dominique's sister told the world her sister was with an estranged and violently abusive boyfriend. She put that on Facebook for everyone to see. She wasn't guessing. She wasn't being dramatic. She was telling people exactly what was happening. And still, Dominique ended up burned on the side of a road with no arrests made. Her sister posted this after Dominique's body was identified. My sister is gone. Please, for the love of God, please do not call me. I'm going where I need to be because I cannot take this. I'll never be the same because of how my sister left this earth. And I pray when her spirit left her body, my grandma received it and welcomed her to the line of our ancestors. Thank you for all the prayers, and I'll give updates when I can. That's what grief sounds like. That's what it looks like when your sister is murdered and the person who did it is still walking free. Dominique's brother said this when asked what he would say to his sister if he could.
I love you. I'm sorry. And I should have been there. And I wish I could have told you I love you one last time.
He's carrying guilt that isn't his to carry because he didn't do this. He didn't set that fire. He didn't hurt his sister. But that's what happens to families when there's no justice. They start blaming themselves for things they couldn't control. We wear the letters of the city on our back with pride, but everything that really come with it, we sometimes just not prepared for. That's Memphis. That's Black communities across America. We love where we're from, but we're exhausted from burying our people. Let's talk about what this case represents. Because Dominique's story isn't happening in a vacuum. In 2023, Tennessee ranked among the highest states in female homicide rates. Most of those cases were domestic or dating related. Women killed by men they knew, men they trusted, men they loved, men they were trying to leave. Dominique's case became part of a pattern that advocates have been screaming about for years. Women's fears get dismissed until it's too late. Women say they're in danger and people tell them they're overreacting. Women try to leave and that's when they end up dead. Her family grew frustrated with how quickly the headlines faded. There were no press conferences after the initial reports. No new leads announced, no suspects named publicly. The case never made national coverage. It barely stayed in local news for more than a week. Lomax spoke about this publicly. It's like they forgot her, but we didn't. We can't. And that's the reality for so many families dealing with unsolved murders. The media moves on. The public moves on. But the family, they're stuck in September 2023 forever. They're stuck at that vigil, stuck at that funeral, stuck wondering why nobody's been arrested. Every September since Dominique's death, her family has organized a memorial walk in her honor. They release balloons. They wear shirts with her photo. They remind Memphis that her killer is still free. They've launched fundraisers to help raise her son and to support awareness campaigns about meeting people safely. Her friends still post her picture on her birthday, writing messages like, "We miss you, sis. I know you're watching over your baby," because that's what they're left with. Memories, photos, social media posts, and a child growing up without his mother. So what do we learn from this? What does Dominique's case teach us? First, believe women when they tell you they're in danger. Dominique's sister called that man estranged and violently abusive publicly. She wasn't making it up for attention. She was sounding an alarm, and by the time that alarm was heard, it was too late. Second, when witnesses see something, their testimony matters. Multiple people reportedly saw Dominique being assaulted and dragged into a vehicle. Those witnesses came forward. They gave descriptions. They told what they saw. But somehow that still wasn't enough to make an arrest. Third, leaving an abusive relationship is the most dangerous time for a woman. If Dominique was estranged from this man, if she was trying to distance herself, that's when the risk goes up. Abusers don't like losing control. And when they feel like they're losing that control, they escalate. Fourth, we have to do better as a community. We have to check in on our sisters, our daughters, our friends. We have to ask the hard questions. Are you safe? Do you need help getting out? What can we do? And when they tell us they're scared, we have to believe them the first time. Because Dominique deserved better. She deserved to watch her son grow up. She deserved to be at his graduation, his wedding, holding his children. She deserved to grow old with her sisters and laugh at family cookouts and live a full life. Instead, she's forever 27. A hashtag, a balloon release. A story we're still trying to make sense of 2 years later. Her mother promised justice, but justice delayed is justice denied. And right now, Dominique's family is still waiting. The Memphis Police Department asks that anyone with information about this case call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-HASH. Tips can be submitted anonymously. Even the smallest detail could be the thing that finally brings this case to a close. Because somewhere out there, someone knows what happened. Someone knows who was driving that blue car Rico mentioned. Someone knows why that phone was thrown out. Someone knows who called trying to get it back. Someone knows the truth about what happened between 4:45 a.m. on September 4th and 4:33 a.m. on September 6th. And if that someone is watching this right now, understand that Dominique's family will never stop fighting for answers. They will never stop saying her name. They will never let Memphis forget that a 27-year-old mother was burned on the side of the road and nobody has been held accountable. This case should make us angry. Not the kind of angry that fades after we close the video. The kind of angry that makes us demand better from our police departments. The kind of angry that makes us show up for women in our lives who say they're afraid. The kind of angry that refuses to let another Dominique Lomax story happen without consequence. Her brother said something that stays with me.
We wear the letters of the city on our back with pride, but you know, everything that really come with it, we sometimes just not prepared for.
We love our cities, we love our communities, but we're exhausted from losing our people to violence that could have been prevented. We're tired of vigils, we're tired of balloons, we're tired of saying rest in peace to people who should still be here. Dominique Lomax was a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend. She was loved, she is missed, and she deserves justice. 2 years and counting, no arrests, no answers. Just a family left to pick up pieces that will never fit back together the same way. If you know something, say something. Don't let this be another case that goes cold. Don't let Dominique become another name. We forget. Her mother said it best. This isn't over. It may have been 1 week, but believe me, she's going to get what she deserves. She's going to get justice. And I promise you that I'm not going to let this go until my baby has victory over this. That's a mother's love. That's a mother's promise. And we should all be standing with her until that promise is kept. Rest in peace, Dominique Lomax. Your story matters, your life mattered, and we won't stop talking about you until there's justice. If this case touched you, if it made you think about the women in your life who might need help, share this video, comment below with your thoughts. And most importantly, if you know anything about what happened to Dominique, make that call. Do the right thing. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there, and remember, love shouldn't hurt, ever.